Why would a supposedly free market need a government-imposed floor price? Today we uncover the truth behind Washington's sudden move to stabilize silver's volatile foundation. The signals coming from the White House are unmistakable. Something is broken deep within the financial machinery, and the authorities are rushing to build a barrier. Internal reports and SEC filings hint at a strategic desperation. They are no longer just monitoring the market, they are actively trying to prevent a total collapse. If silver were truly in oversupply, a floor price would be unnecessary. This steel bottom is actually a last-ditch effort to contain an impending price explosion. The official narrative claims abundance, but the physical reality tells a different story. The vaults are thinning out while the demand for real metal reaches fever pitch. And we have stitched together data from Bloomberg and the SEC to reveal a hidden reality. The system of virtual pricing is finally being torn wide open today. This is not about preventing a price drop. It is about managing the failure of a system that has relied on illusions for far too many decades. The global financial game is changing. When the government steps in to set a bottom, it means the natural market forces are no longer under control. The separation between paper promises and physical reality is no longer a theory. It is a visible fracture that is widening with every single trading day. As the door closes on the era of cheap silver, the world is waking up to the fact that the paper supply is a massive fabrication. The steel bottom is the ultimate admission of failure. Let us look deeper into the lies that have propped up the paper-silver market for years. For decades, the world has operated on a grand illusion known as paper-silver. For every real ounce, there are hundreds of digital claims circulating. The ratio is staggering, 100 to 1. 100 entities believe they own the same physical ounce of silver that only one person can hold. When confidence evaporates, the paper vanishes. Only those holding the physical metal will remain standing when the music stops and the vault doors lock. Major banks like JP Morgan have long dominated this space, but their own reports are starting to show cracks that can no longer be hidden. The volume of paper trading is a mountain compared to the molehill of physical silver. This imbalance is the ticking time bomb of the global economy. SEC data reveals that the leverage used in silver markets is reaching unsustainable levels. The rifts in the system are becoming impossible for regulators to ignore. The London Bullion Market Association is facing a crisis of transparency. Their paper promises are being called out by investors demanding the actual physical metal. We are approaching the moment of truth. The illusion of unlimited silver supply on paper is burning away, revealing the extreme scarcity underneath it all. The risk of default in the paper market is at an all-time high. Investors are realizing that a digital entry is not a substitute for metal. The SEC is quietly preparing for a scenario where the paper market decouples entirely. The mask of stability is slipping, revealing a desperate scramble for safety. Physical silver is the only final settlement. As the paper system fails, the value of every stamped ounce is about to be redefined by reality. The physical market has officially seceded. While Wall Street plays with algorithms, the East is quietly stripping the West of its remaining silver physical reserves. Bloomberg recently confirmed a terrifying trend. Silver inventories in London vaults have plummeted to historic lows. When this is an unprecedented drain on Western wealth. This is not just a trade, it is a mass migration of wealth. The silver is leaving the vaults of the old world for the new. The demand is driven by more than just investment. Solar energy and the electric vehicle revolution are consuming physical silver at a rate never seen before. Modern technology cannot exist without silver. From green energy to advanced electronics, the industrial hunger for physical metal is becoming a supply-side nightmare. China has been a net buyer for years, absorbing every ounce they can find. They understand that silver is the backbone of the next industrial era. In India, the cultural and economic demand for silver is explosive. Their imports have shattered records, adding more pressure to an already strained global supply. Russia is also diversifying into silver, treating it as a strategic asset. Central banks in the East are no longer trusting the dollar-based paper systems. Every new invention in the 21st century requires more silver. We are facing a structural deficit that no amount of paper trading can ever fix. The center of gravity for silver pricing is shifting. London and New York are losing their grip as the physical metal moves to stronger hands. This is a physical run on the banks. When the silver is gone from the vaults, the paper contracts will become completely worthless pieces of junk. The clock is ticking on Western silver reserves. Bloomberg's data is the final warning that the physical supply is nearing a point of no return. The East isn't just buying silver, they are taking delivery. They are ending the game of musical chairs by taking the chairs home with them. Why must the government intervene now? The steel bottom is a desperate mechanism to prevent the silver price from falling below the cost of production. Mining costs are skyrocketing. If the price falls too low, miners will stop digging. A total halt in production would be catastrophic for national defense. Silver is a critical material for defense and high-tech weaponry. The government cannot afford a supply chain disruption caused by a collapsing market price. CEOs of major mining companies have warned that the current price levels are unsustainable. They are squeezed between rising energy costs and manipulated market prices. Energy is the largest cost in mining. With oil prices volatile, silver cannot be produced cheaply anymore. The steel bottom reflects this new economic reality. Behind closed doors, officials are realizing that the free market has failed to provide a stable price. They are stepping in to prevent a total shutdown. The steel bottom also protects the big banks. If the price swings too wildly, the massive short positions of bullion banks could bankrupt the entire system. By setting a floor, so they are effectively nationalizing the price stability of silver. This is a clear admission that the market can no longer function alone. The steel bottom is the boundary between a functioning economy and a total collapse. It is the government's desperate attempt to hold the line. Without silver, modern life stops. The intervention is not about profit. It is about survival in an age of extreme resource scarcity and geopolitical tension. The era of the free market in silver is over. What remains is a managed, coordinated effort to prevent the inevitable explosion of physical value. The steel bottom is a signal to the wise. When the government builds a floor, you can be sure the ceiling is about to be shattered. The mask of pricing has finally fallen. There is now a massive gap between the spot price on your screen and the physical premium you pay. This is the delinking. The connection between the paper markets and the physical metal has been severed by the sheer force of real-world demand. When you have to pay 30 to 40% more than the listed price to actually touch the metal, the listed price becomes a complete lie. The COMEX price is becoming irrelevant. It is a price for a product that doesn't exist for immediate delivery to the average person or industry. The paper system was the mask. Now that it is shattered, we are seeing the true face of value.
We have to.
Real silver is worth far more than paper. While they tell the public to trust the paper, central banks and private trusts are quietly accumulating every physical ounce they can secure behind the scenes. Physical silver is heavy, and its weight is finally crushing the light, airy promises of the digital dollar. Reality is asserting itself with a vengeance. The market on the screen is a simulation. The market in your hand is the truth. The disconnect has never been this wide or this dangerous. As inflation eats the value of currency, silver remains the ultimate anchor. The separation of prices is the first step toward a new monetary era. The steel bottom was meant to stabilize, but it has only highlighted the instability. The physical price is already breaking through the artificial ceilings. Do you trust the number on the screen or the metal in your palm? One is a digital hallucination. The other is a 5,000-year-old store of value. The truth is becoming impossible to ignore. The physical market has left the building, and the paper traders are left talking to themselves in an empty room. Hedge funds and retail investors are finally realizing the game is rigged. The move to physical is a mass exodus from a dying financial religion. The separation is complete. Silver has chosen its own path, and that path is leading away from the control of the central planners and bankers. And we are witnessing the end of an era. The steel bottom is not a foundation for the future. It is a tombstone for the old way of trading. The global financial order is being rewritten in real time. Silver is the leading indicator of a world returning to hard assets and tangible truths. Scarcity is the new reality. The days of unlimited supply, manufactured through digital printing, are coming to a violent and permanent end. History is repeating itself. Every time a civilization tries to replace real value with paper, the metal eventually returns to reclaim its throne. The bridge between the virtual and the physical has collapsed. You must choose which side you want to be on before the gap becomes uncrossable. The steel bottom is your final warning signal. When the authorities admit they must support the price, they are telling you the system is insolvent. Don't wait for the vault doors to slam shut. The opportunity to secure physical assets at these manipulated prices is a window that is closing fast. A new era is beginning, the era of real value. Silver will be at the heart of this transition, fueling the technology and the wealth of tomorrow. The flight to quality has begun. Investors who understand the steel bottom are already positioning themselves for the greatest wealth transfer in modern history. The truth is the key. Once you see the separation between paper and physical, you can no longer be fooled by the screen's digital illusions. Time is running out for the paper shorts and the manipulators. The physical reality of supply and demand is a force that no government can stop. Welcome to the era of truth. Welcome to the era where silver is no longer a commodity to be traded, but a lifeline to be held. Stay ahead of the collapse. Subscribe now as we continue to track the signals that the mainstream media and the government try to hide from you. The steel bottom is set. The mask is off. The only question left is, do you have the physical metal or just a paper promise?